Hey everybody, Dr. Colleen Siri here. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and the founder and executive director of Sierra Center for Behavioral Health. So we've been talking a lot about how all of this COVID stuff is making us feel, right? We've been talking about fear, we've been talking about irritability, sadness, loneliness, etc. So I wanted to come on today to talk about why it makes perfect sense that we're feeling those things from a biology perspective, or a neuropsychology perspective. Because it's really helpful to know those things, because once we understand what's happening and what the clues are that we're in one state versus the other, it's a lot easier to figure out how to change it. So our nervous system is what controls a lot of our feelings, especially when we are perceiving a threat or danger, as COVID absolutely is. So two different sides of the nervous system. The first is, or the one that we're going to talk about first, is the sympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic nervous system is the side of the nervous system that gets triggered when you're experiencing a threat or some kind of perceived danger. And when your sympathetic nervous system is in the driver's seat, you are operating from a place of fear, and the ultimate goal is survival. Okay? So it doesn't matter if it's COVID, in which case your health and life is truly threatened, or if you just perceive it to be threatening because of your own experiences. Regardless, when your sympathetic nervous system is activated, the ultimate goal is survival, and you're responding from a place of fear. That's important to know. So when that's happening, we engage in thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that we think reduce the marginalize the threat, right? So this looks different for different people, but it can include things like listening to the news constantly, being incredibly controlling, including things we cannot control, like other people's behavior, becoming more isolated and withdrawn. These are all things that we think help make us safe. I'm sure you can come up with a larger list for yourself. But we're also, when we're in this state, when sympathetic activation is kind of running us, we're also more likely to perceive other people and circumstances as hostile and aggressive, even if they're not, right? So this is problematic. So this can include we're responding aggressively or irritably to people around us. We wind up picking fights with our loved ones, being defensive or attacking when criticized. These are all behaviors that we're all likely to engage in when our sympathetic nervous system is running the show. Okay? Next, so our parasympathetic nervous system is the other side of our nervous system. And this is responsible for rest and digesting. And when our parasympathetic nervous system is in the driver's seat, we're operating from a place of connection and creativity. That sounds so much better, doesn't it? So when we're operating from our parasympathetic nervous system, we're more likely than not to give people the benefit of the doubt. We feel relaxed, content. We have the ability to be silly and playful. We have an appetite, a sex drive, and we're able to experience creativity, right? We clearly want to be there. That's where we want to be. That's where our bodies want us to be too. So why is all of this important, right? Here's why. Because if we know how we think, feel, and behave when we're operating from a place of fear versus a place of connection, then we have a much better chance at changing our behavior, our thoughts and feelings and behaviors to work for us rather than against us, right? And it's also important because when the parasympathetic is where we're really supposed to live, and the sympathetic is supposed to kick on every now and then when we need to defend ourselves or when something scary or life-threatening is happening. But we're supposed to live in the parasympathetic. But during these times of incredible stress, if we're living in the sympathetic and we're not spending enough time in the parasympathetic, rest, digest, connect, that's bad for our bodies. That takes an incredibly high toll on our bodies and our brains, which winds up negatively affecting our immune systems, which is clearly not what we want right now. So, something to think about. So I want you guys to think about all of these things that I just said. How do we behave when our sympathetic, when our fear system is dominating us, versus how do you behave when your rest and connect and digest system is operating you? Spend some time thinking about that. And then you've got the magic key where you can start to really change not only how you're thinking, feeling, and behaving, but how your body is operating and how it can work for you instead of against you. Good stuff. Let me know.